It's Rob. Hope you all having a wonderful day today. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please go ahead and type the number 1 in the questions box to let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Amy. How you doing, Brenda? Hey, Jim. It is a great day. Hope you all had fun with the Super Bowl yesterday. Afternoon, Daniel. I appreciate that email you sent in to Amelia and I, by the way, very much. You know, I don't know if people realize that when I get those, how much that means when someone says what a difference what we're doing is making for them. So thank you for that. Very cool. Let's see. Hey, also good to have you here. Morning, Helen. Snow is not too bad. It was very fluffy yesterday, so I was able to get rid of it pretty quickly. In under an hour, we had the street done, the middle of the street done. I did both neighbors on both sides of me who are, older and not as easily to get around. So we were able to rip right through it. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. I know he's working on it. I'm meeting with him in right after this, actually 1:15, with my programmer. So we're working on that. Yeah, you're welcome for the help, Daniel. Absolutely. Cool. So as we go through here today, remember everything that we look at here is for educational purposes only. Nothing is meant to be advice and or recommendations. All right. So let's see if we can't get some video going here for a little bit. Or not. Let's see. Well, for some reason, Zoom doesn't want to give me video again. Let's try it one more time. Nope. Jim. You guys able to hear me? Give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right. I really don't know what is going on with Zoom. I'm going to leave it alone for now, so we just won't have the video today. Brad said, saw you on Benzinga and interested in what you have to offer. There you go. It's funny, Brad. I've been teaching Power Hour for, I don't know. I started this back in 2016. And the Benzinga show is it's called Power Hour, right? At least the section that I was on. I'll be back on again tomorrow. Next couple of weeks, I'll be on their show. So we've already booked it out. So that's great. Good. Glad you made it. All right. So what do we got? Trading You coming up on February 10th. The next Inner Circle is on the 18th from 8 to 10. Monster Market Movers coming up on February 25th, 8 to 10. And Patterns in a Flash. Tony's doing 2 bonuses a month now instead of 1 for his students. And that is coming up on March 10th and 24th. He's also doing a pattern of the month. You guys got to check out what he's got going on there. Mastermind Group is on Tuesday nights, 8 to 9 p.m. And then free workshops this week. We've got Power Hour. Key to Be Free. The next one coming up is the 17th of February. And then Brandon's got a couple of How to Trade the Markets going. That is on February 17th at 12 and 8 p.m. both. And then Feb 24th at 12 and 8 p.m. Right now, this upcoming week, we're good. Nothing has changed for this week. Remember, Monday is a holiday. So there will be no power hour. There will be no E-mini on Monday either. Markets are closed. We're closed. Office, staff, everybody's off. So make sure you make note of that. Right. And then here's the follow us page. Make sure you are. Sean and I meet this afternoon to finalize where that first podcast comes out and such. So make sure you are following us on the various social platforms here. All right. So let's go ahead and let's take us a look. Go ahead and bring up, let's get all symbols here. All right. So first thing is, let's go look at the S&P 500. So we start off every week. We start with the market itself, right? Today is the 8th. So you're seeing the candle on there today. Once again, all-time high coming in today. We broke above the 3,900 level intraday. We're sitting right about 3,900 now or so. But the move is not surprising. What I mean by that is the move up to that key level, bumping our head into that key level is not unexpected. It's there. Traders know it's there. And here's the thing. When I say traders know it's there, here's what traders know. Traders know, for the most part, one thing and one thing only. And that is they know that a 3,900 point level exists there. Let me put it in right there. They know 3,900 exists. They don't know $3,906.64 is a negative 618. That's not what most traders do. They have no clue. So if you are a trader that focuses heavily on key levels like 100-point levels, then you're taking note of that. It's an all-time high. It's a key level, right? And we're bumping our head on it. But now if you understand Fibonacci and you're going off of a move that took place starting in October, ended up the very beginning of was it November that we got into there? Yeah, so this started, and actually, yeah, October 30th it started, and it ended on November 9th. That move right in there, we are seeing the fruits of that labor today as we're bumping our head on ugly, which is 3,964 cents. So you've got a confluence there. So the way that we look at things here at Wealth Builders is we look for confluences. So as an example, there are other confluences on the chart. There is one right now at the 3852 level with the 8 moving average. There's one at the 3,800 level with the 21 moving average. So there's actually 3,800. If we stretch it out, and I'll pull the chart down, you've got a 3,803, 3,803.39. That's the fib line, the negative 382. You've got 3,800. We've got a blue zone drawn in there. And then you've got 3,812, which is your 21 moving average, right? If we hit escape, you could see we come right on top of it. I call that a confluence. We're close enough, right? I love confluence areas. Well, we have confluence right now as well with the current price point and that fib level, the negative 618. So life is good. Overall, everything is lining up and doing what it's supposed to do, right? Don't fear that we're bumping our head and call this a bearish move now and the market's going to crash. Now, by no means am I saying the market goes up from here. That's not what my point was. My point was you have to look at this from a logical perspective. You've got to be able to ask the question. You've got to be able to ask the question of yourself of what do I see taking place right now, right here, right where we're at, where we are at, right? And you've got to be able to do things like look left and see if there's anything historical, which we know there isn't. So what do we have? We have key metrics such as the 3,800 level, such as the negative 618. And we're talking about things that took place from November and are coming to fruition now, or showing themselves right now. That's how powerful these lines are that are on there. And anybody says that they're not is just wrong or trying to defend their own position, right? I have got some of the best traders in the world that work with us here at Wealth Builders. Brandon Wendell, who's a CMT, who uses Fibonacci's, right? He doesn't use it because he just wants to throw some lines on the screen, right? You've got Ryan Litchfield, who literally wrote the book with Gregory Morris on Candlestick Charting Explained, right? The latest edition. Ryan's written the only new material, the only new information on in any candlestick book anywhere in the last decade is from Ryan. And Ryan will look at it and say, Ryan will say, I don't use fibs. I use different methods to come up with the same answers. But Ryan and I are usually within pennies, small amount away from each other when we come to our trigger levels, our key levels that we're focused on, right? Fibonacci work, right? These levels work for us. So right now, where are we? We're in a bullish bias, true bull. The moving averages are in the right order. We're above the moving averages. We've got a higher high taking place. So we're bumping our head. So what? That doesn't bother me. We've got 39.77 up above that, and then we'll have 4,000. Didn't know if I was ever going to see 4,000 in my lifetime when I first started trading back in 1997. Okay. So we're strong. What can happen? Could we get a pullback? Yes. But what does it do? It pulls back to the 35.82, which is where there's a confluence of a Fibot and the moving average. So then we have to see what happens. Look at the last time we got there, all-time highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then some shift in market, and that's okay, right? We got a nice pullback in there. There was a great buying opportunity as we recovered. And then we came back strong, and what happened? We bumped our head on that 38.52 level this day, and then we finally broke and closed above. And from there, you've got the expectation. You took the breakout. Where are we going? To that next key level, right? I had Ryan Litchfield stepped into our Trading You the other evening. He just popped his head in, and I saw him there. He wasn't planning on teaching, and I pulled him in. Tell all my guys, if you come into class and I see, I'm going to grab you. You're going to teach. You're going to get in there and talk. So, and he was talking about some of the key metrics and the breakouts and everything that's going on is to be expected, and don't fear it, and all of that good stuff, right? Let's see. A couple of questions popped up in here. Barry said, wouldn't the fib lines be restarted from 37.02 level closest to the left, although not the biggest? No, you see, there's the answer, Barry. So you're looking for the largest, let's back up. You're looking for the largest directional move closest to the right side of the chart. The very first word in my phrase is largest, right? The time to redraw is a close above the -618. That's when we need to start finding a place to redraw. So no, I would not redraw the fibs on these. I'm not. We're using these well, I should say, in power options plays. We're up about 169 grand already this year in 5 weeks. So Brad said, am I using a 1 month, 1 day chart to display your fib levels? So Brad, I primarily look at them on my daily charts, but I have weekly and monthlies on the S&P set up down here, right? And let me go back to this chart here. Let me grab this. Let's edit it. We only want it here, not on all chart windows. Okay. So now if we go back to our weekly chart, those lines that were there are gone, right? Great weekly move on the pattern, right? Phenomenal weekly move. And then look where we are. We just broke last week. We broke above the -618 on the close. So we absolutely know that level is being violated on a bigger time frame chart. We're expecting that continuation to take place, right? I usually start with 3 month and 3 month, 1 day. Yeah. So I start off, if what you're saying, Brad, is I start with about an F5 zoom on our trading platform, which is right here. That's normally on a daily chart, though, not on a weekly chart. On a daily chart, I start here with an F5, right, which is where my screen is normally left at this zoom, all right? And that's where I normally start working off of when I look at a brand new chart. Okay, that's where I'll make my decisions on. From there, I jump out to a weekly, and I've got my fibs drawn on a weekly chart. And then I go out to a monthly chart, and I look at the very big picture on a monthly chart, right? And you can see same thing. This month we've had a great break of another major fib line. We have just been extremely strong outside of the COVID months, right? February, March, April, we got back in line back in May, right? As we came back above our moving averages again. The moving averages never crossed. We've stayed bullish. We've stayed bullish since the crossover took place in 2010 on a monthly chart. So overall, it's been phenomenal. Yeah, you're quite welcome, Brad. All right. Jim said, Oh, how has your trades gone today? Phenomenal. Phenomenal. We're going to talk about Reddit in a minute, right? And GameStop and AMC and American Airlines and all that good stuff. So let's see, SPX. By the way, guys, tell me about your trades today. You tell me, how are your trades going today? What's going on in your trades? Drop them in. I'm here to share. You should be here to share. Share with everybody else how you're doing. Get it out there. Speak it out into the universe, whether you believe in a higher power, whether you believe in God, whether you worship a head of lettuce. Just get it out there for your higher power, but get it out there in the market to us. Start talking about it. Make this a focal point in your life. Tell me what's going on. All right. So Jim said SPX. When would you redraw the fib since it's around the negative 618? What's the rule? Basically, so if we go back, Jim, and look at the negative 618 that we just violated, or now remember, we violated on a wick. The violation has to take place on a close. What all that violation says is look for a new place to draw the fibs. So in an ideal world, Jim, we get a decent run on this the next couple of days, weeks. You know, let's say we make it up to 4,050 and then we fail. Right now, we've got a place to redraw. Right? We don't draw. So as an example, if we close above here today, that doesn't mean tomorrow we find a place to draw. It means tomorrow we start looking for a new place to draw. All right. Does that make sense, Jim? Let's see. Yes. Okay. So Jim said, got in calls early and got out with a nice profit on SPY today. GoGo and SPY. GoGo, huh? I'm liking GoGo, John. And I'm always a big fan of SPY. I sell calls on it 3 times a week on SPY. And if you're in my mastermind, you understand exactly why, because what do we do there? We're converting our 401ks into SPY shares, right? The IRA accounts of the world, you're converting them into SPY shares. Stop paying those stupid mutual fund fees. Get them over into something that doesn't have a large fee. There's a small fee on SPY, but it's minimal. It's 0.5% a year. Get them over to something that has a very small fee on it, and then start writing covered calls, buy protective puts, and protect your portfolio. You can't do that with mutual funds. You can't. You know the top 10 holdings at best in a mutual fund, top 5, top 10, depending on the fund. Some give you all, but you don't know the rest of them that are in there. So what am I protecting if I'm trying to go buy puts on something? Let's see. Susan said AMD is going as planned. Rocking multiple monitors. I'm glad it worked out. Suzanne, send me a picture of your system and we'll share it. Let's see. Brian said SQ is so high, but do I sell before earnings? So I'm not a fan of, well, let me back up. Let's go look at Square, right? Which is SQ. Okay. Oh, let me hit escape there. All right, let me pull this out. So once again, who said Square? Who was that? So Brian, look where it is. Look where it opened up and look at where the highs have been today. 2 fib lines that were way away from back here in November that were drawn out, right? That's how powerful the levels are. But I digress. You've got earnings coming out. I don't see it on here. Let's see. The last one was November 5th. December, January, February, we're there and we got to be soon. Can somebody get me an earnings date on SQ, please? Brian said, I think it's 223. Let me see. Let's make sure I don't miss anything. So as far as valuations go, Brian, I can't tell you from a valuation of a fundamental standpoint. The only thing I ever look at, if anything, is earnings. That's it. I don't look at any fundamentals in a stock, and I'm a covered call writer. This is what I do. This is my retirement, is covered calls, diagonals, naked puts. That's my thing, right? 223 is confirmed. All right. Thank you, Amos. I appreciate it. And Jim. So we've got a couple of weeks left. You know, if you're holding shares on this, what I normally do, Brian, when I get around an earnings date and I have a stock that I don't want to write a covered call on it because I don't know what the answer is going to be. Number one, if it takes off, I don't want to lose the stock if I don't have to. So normally, if I've had that stock for 2, 3, 4 weeks and I don't just want to sell it, I will go ahead and not write a covered call, but I will buy a protective put on it. and be willing to accept some risk, because I'm not buying a 100 delta protected put, but be able to accept some risk. So if there is catastrophe in the position, I'm covered. And that's normally what I look for in my positions there. So holding on through earnings is a little bit tougher. Let's see. So we got that one already. Daniel said I made nice profits on SPY. Daniel, is that not a kick tail strategy, the way we trade SPY? I mean, it is phenomenal, right? It is a great setup almost every single day. Jim said SPY got in puts after double top, created and made a nice profit down around 10:55 a.m. Okay, good. Whenever you get the monitors, Suzanne, send them to me. Send me a picture of it. John said, I've been doing the 401k strategy since joining the mastermind group in December. All right. What do you think of this strategy, John? Let's see. Brad said, I'm sure most people know what strategy you use, but I personally generally do 1 to 2 week credit spreads. What's your go-to strategy in a bullish market, and why a particular strategy over all others? Okay, so let's say it this way, Brad. I trade multiple strategies, okay? And what I mean by that is I am a big directional trade fan, all right? And that is my swing trades, my day trades, all of it based on market conditions, the individual stock, and so forth, okay? And you'll hear when we get towards the end of the show today, the training today, I'll ask what symbols you want me to look at, and we'll pull them up and analyze those charts based on what it is that I see. And the major ones, there are 20 main ones that I trade in our power option plays that I have a list. It's in front of me. This paper is on my desk right now, and it doesn't leave. It sits here every day. I have a brand new one that I fill out every day. It sits on my desk, and I go through what each of those stocks are, my entries, my triggers, my stops. All of that is on this, what I call a tracking sheet, okay? And basically, I'm looking at that, the day trades for the uncertain markets, the swing trades to try to get bigger profits, right? Now, with all of that said, you could take every single symbol that I trade, and you can flip that around, Brad, into a credit spread easily. If I'm calling a bullish trade on this, and I'm telling you, here, I will give you an example. On Alibaba, the call yesterday was bullish above 266 aggressive. So if we go to BABA, all right, we did not move up. Let me see. Let's see. What was our high today? 265. So we're not in Alibaba. We called it that if it gets above 266, we're taking a directional trade, a bullish trade. And we're going to buy long options, 1 month of time. But that would work the same way if it got above 266 to generate a credit spread. Right now, with all of that said, I am a big fan of getting as much hands-off stuff as I can on in my retirement accounts. I love trading iron condors on the Russell. I love trading diagonals. We have a program called Covered Call Explorer where I go through covered calls, naked puts, and diagonal spreads every weekend. Right, and you guys hear some of them when we're here. Right, GoGo is one of them that's in my list, or has been in my list recently. As I went through the stocks this weekend, although we had a very small batch this weekend compared to some others, and that's because of the run we had this week, right? So I love trading covered calls. I love diagonals, and man, I am just killer loving iron condors on the rut. I'm a big fan of that. It's very much hands off, do what I got to do. I've got 2 open ones right now on there. And that's it. They just kind of, I got my orders in place. If it goes against me, if it goes in my direction, I'm all set. Oh, good. Brad said you got about 10 of them that I mentioned on Benzinga. Here, you ready? Apple, Adobe, and no, heck, why am I doing that? Let's do this. Come on, P. RR, come on. That's why I need the RR first. All right, there you go. That's every one of them, Brad. There are the 20 right there, plus the VIX and the SPX. So you got them all, right? But that's the strategies that I use. So John said covered calls on IQ and Western Digital, WDC. Nice. Good. So Daniel said he's loving the strategy that we teach in the mastermind group on protecting your portfolio. I like it. It brings in, I like it every week brings in profits. That's what I'm loving about it. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much there for dropping that in. There's a link to the Cover Call Explorer, guys. Someone had asked for it and they dropped it in for you. Okay. So I think we got to the end of the questions there. So what's going on with Reddit? I mean, what the heck is happening with these guys? Goodness gracious. How many of you saw the Reddit commercials yesterday during the Super Bowl? Be honest, saw them during the Super Bowl. Give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. Mostly twos. Mostly twos. Well, why didn't you see it? I don't know. Maybe because it was 5 seconds long. Okay. So let me do this. You ready? This was the commercial. And then it just restarts. I don't know why these guys just keep replaying the same 7-second long commercial. But that was it. Basically, when you look at it, if you're reading this, it means our bet paid off. Big game sports are expensive, so we couldn't buy a full one, but we were inspired and decided to spend our entire marketing budget on like 5 seconds of airtime. One thing we learned from our communities last week is that the underdogs can accomplish just about anything when they come together around a common idea. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the reason finance textbooks have to add a chapter on tendies. Maybe you'll help our Super Bowl teach the world about the majority of vowels, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So powerful thing happens when people rally around something they really care about, and there's a place for that. It's called Reddit. Okay. Sure. You keep telling yourself that. All right. I forgot the numbers, but they said that so many individuals, my daughter's boyfriend was over last night and said a good friend of his bought GameStop at 380 and he's still holding it. He's still holding it. Right? Is a kid, 23 years old. He's got no business in the market because he knows nothing about it, but it's running. It's running. So he's buying. Right? My wife's cousin, right? Her husband busting my chops. I could never get the guy at a wedding. He walks away from me when I talk anything about market. He leaves. He didn't want to hear me. Now every day he calls, wants to talk. I'm like, dude, go watch some of the YouTube videos and see what's out there now. And I'll, my stuff, and call me with questions that don't say what's an option. I don't have time to deal with that stuff, right? To train someone over the phone with that. I have plenty of tutorials for that. Okay. Plenty of tutorials for that. But when you look at what's going on with Reddit, a lot of people got hurt. Were there some insiders, some savvy traders that made money? Yes. Are the people that are out there saying, we don't care if we lose money, we're just sticking it to the man? Dude, you are just, sorry, I'm going to say it, you're an ass. Plain and simple. I don't care if we lose money, we're sticking it to the man. I don't do this to stick it to the man. I don't. I do this to make money. Yeah, Brad, I love those people too. I mean, they're what keeps me in the business. I mean, yeah, Jim said GameStop 380. Their financials are terrible. It's coming back down to normal levels soon. Yes, but the thing about it is there's still some action going on now. So somebody tell me. Let me just see what I see here. Yeah, and that is the good thing, Will. He only bought a couple of shares. So you're right. It was only a couple of shares of GameStop that he bought. But, you take the 23-year-old kid who doesn't have a lot of money to his name and he lost, $1,500. It's a lot. He's buying from Union. There you go, PK. That's what trading you is for. And I've offered all the stuff that I have, I offered all of my family members. So you know how many take advantage of it? One. That's it. Nobody else. I've offered my daughter's boyfriend the access to TradingView, and so what does he do? He goes and watch somebody else on YouTube. Okay. All right, whatever. Right, Keith, no shortage of financial idiots. Exactly. So now here's the question for you. You look at a GameStop. Is there still a trade on GameStop right now? No ones or twos. I want to know what the trade is. What's the trade? If there is, what's the trade on GameStop right now? I saw it on Facebook. It must be true. Well, okay. So I'm getting a couple of different answers in here. I love that. I love that one. Who was that? Roman put that. I saw it on Facebook, so it must be true. Short on the current price. Maybe. I don't know how much. I don't know what the short interest is on it now. That's what got them in trouble in the first place. All right. So a lot of answers in here. Sell to open puts is how I would make a trade on it. The implied volatilities are 380 plus. Okay. So if we go ahead and look right now and pull an option chain over, and you guys can see what I'm looking at, right? Is RUT. That's the last thing I had up before we started class today. So if we look at GameStop, all right, and I can't really do much more with it from an option chain right now. Whoa, my goodness gracious, what's happening? Okay, so we're trading at, let's call it $60, right? Close enough, right? So what are we looking at? What do you do? So Ray said next. Okay. Possible falling 3, watch out below. Yeah, the watch out below has got to be careful anyway. There you go. Brendan said, I don't see one now. Maybe when it reaches support. Okay. Yeah, take them out fishing on the boat for a little reflection. You got it, Robert. Guys, where did GameStop come from? And what I'm talking about is price. Oops, that's not what I wanted to grab. Wrong icon. Okay. If we just get rid of some of the recent craziness off the screen, right? We were $17, $20, right? Before all of this really started, because Reddit really wasn't driving it from here, right? Their earnings came out. They had a gap down on earnings. It started to pop up. They may have had some interest there, but it wasn't really driving it, right? So what do we do? Well, what if we went to the option chain, if it will open up for me? And what if we went ahead and we sold to open something like the $20 strike-ish? And you pick whatever strike you want. But I'm looking at right now, we're at 60. The $20 strike is 40 points away. Okay. So, but Rob, it's 20 cents. Is it worth it for 20 cents for me to do this trade? Well, on Friday, it was 55 or 58 cents, which is when I did mine. All right. I'm in GameStop 2 weeks in a row on GameStop. Is it going to get to a point that it goes against me? Absolutely. But right now, think about this. Right now, they are jacking this thing up so much. So much. If someone made me buy it, and let's say that I had an at-the-money call and it was $60. I mean, I had the stock and I'm looking at an at-the-money call, which is a $60 call. We're looking at $8 for at-the-money premium to rent out a covered call. So if the stock goes plummeting down, maybe you'll see some volatility drop. I don't think much, but you'll see some volatility drop, right? So if you get the drop in there and it goes to $20, what am I going to get for my option? $1, $1.50? I'll take it for a week, and I'll do it next week and the week after and the week after, and I'll manage the position. All trades come with risk. The key is, can you find a way to live with the risk that that trade brings on and move forward from there. And that's really what the bottom line is. That's really what it comes down to. GameStop may not be for you, right? I pulled up AMC this morning. And I'm saying, all right, do I want to do something on AMC? And I watched the first 5-minute candle. First off, you look at the overall pattern, right? It's not been, pleasant for them. But they are in an industry that might be coming back, right? Because of movies, and we're conquering COVID now and all this great stuff, right? So I watched the very first candle, and we get to move to the upside. Sorry. I'm not interested in taking that first candle. When I say to the upside, it gapped up from where it closed, right? Stretched up a little higher, and then the candle failed. We pushed up, and there actually was a bearish entry signal. Now, my thing is, it's at $6.50. How far down does it go? Right? I'm really not going to take a bearish trade on this put or anything else. If we got a bounce, I would have considered selling a put on this today. Excuse me. I would have considered selling on it today, but we did not, right? We failed. We got back down. Is Reddit still going to control the universe the way they believe that they do? And the answer is they are going to voice their opinions. I think enough people got burned that you won't see another GameStop happen. And I think the SEC is getting enough pressure, included from Janet Yellen, of you need to get on the shtick and stop brokers from allowing 102% of stock to be shorted on a company. There are rules in place purposely you need to follow. Risk what you can afford to lose. Exactly, Robert. Exactly. So Brad said, would you want to go out a couple of weeks on expiration to at the strike for whatever delta you want? So for what I'm doing on GameStop is I'm selling as short as possible, Brad. I don't want to go a couple of weeks because I don't know where this stock can be in 2 weeks from now, in a week from now. And we could see it down at $40 at the end of the week. It's very possible. Let's see. John said, did Two Naked over the last 2 weeks for a day at 160 strikes. There you go. When I'm selling, yeah. So when I sell, Brad, I'm looking for, normally when I sell a put, I'm looking for a 20 delta. The reason I went to the 20 strike price was not delta. Actually, I don't even know what the delta is on the $20 put. Let's see. Let's go back to GMC. Jimmy. $20 put. Ironically, it's got a 1 delta. That's a 1, which isn't accurate just because of the volatility that's in. They don't have an answer. They're just throwing a number out there. But normally I would go with a 20. But why did I pick the $20 strike price? Again, it had nothing at all to do with the delta. It had everything to do with I'm comfortable if we get down to 20 is what it was. I have some safety up to that point that I'm willing to take on that risk. All right. And a lot of this comes from a strategy that I used to do, which was a credit spread strategy that basically it was a gap strategy. It was a stock that gapped, and how I would trade that strategy and put my order in pre-market. And let me rephrase that. I would set the order up pre-market. I would not enter the order. I didn't hit the order until the bell rang, because I was finding an anomaly in the market where I was getting filled before the market maker worried about strikes that were, $20 and $30 away from where the stock was trading right now. And if you weren't the first one in, you didn't get the trade, because then they would adjust it after that. So based on some of that, I don't see it coming back to 20, at least not this week. If it does, then I'll manage the trade. Could it go against me? Yes. Am I willing to take some risk? Absolutely. If it made me buy GameStop, okay, then I buy GameStop at $20. I don't see it going down much lower than $12 or $15. There'll still be some high covered call premium on it, but there's too many shorts still out there right now that are trying to consider, do they cover or not? Excuse me. Really, Ken, TOS will not allow you to sell a put on GME. Robert, have you done any puts on GME or anybody else with TOS? The reason I'm asking, Ken, is I don't know if they limit you based on your risk profile, or TOS is just saying, Okay, so Robert hasn't. Brad said, personally, I wouldn't touch any of the Reddit plays now. They're all in a downtrend. Absolutely. That's what I said. They drove it up, and they're still telling people to hold on. I mean, ding dong, Mark Cuban. I love Mark Cuban. He's a phenomenal businessman, telling these Reddit people to keep doing what they do. You're crazy. Okay, so Brad said, Toss says no to GME and AMC trades. Okay. Well, TradeStation is allowing them now. Sarah said, Toss put out a message a week ago saying we couldn't open positions on GME and AMC. All right, well, there you go. There you have it. All right. Which hence is where having multiple brokers is powerful. Tastyworks, TradeStation, Toss. I've got those three. Futures broker. I use TradeStation for futures. I use Trade Pro Futures for futures, right? So I've got multiple accounts that I could trade through if needed. If needed. All right. Whew. Dang. I feel like I just ran a marathon. All right. So we're up 141 points on the Dow, 15 points on the SPOOs, 78, almost 79 points, 79 now on the NASDAQ. So we've had some great moves today. Where are we looking at? Apple right now. Apple has recovered a little bit from where it was. It's gapped down. We're at lunchtime now. We've got a little bit of a wedge forming in there, so we'll see what it does. But Robert said, I'm a little bit ticked at them when they would not allow me to sell a way out of the money call on my long calls for over $100 a share. Yeah, I get it, Robert. I really do. Trader Will said, rejected. No opening sell transactions allowed in this series. Sell one, GameStop 100 weekly, 12th February, $20 put market to open. This is what happened. So we'll just try to put one in right now, and it came back as a no. Good, Brad. Brad said, great interaction, Rob. I really appreciate your efforts. Absolutely. And Brad, this is every week. This is every week. This is a no fluff. It's all about what's going on in markets. Answer questions. I am fairly an open book, right? You know, now someone said, hey, can you teach the strategy that you taught in your mastermind group on how we use the SPY? That I won't do. That is a strategy reserved for that group, right? But what we're looking at on stocks, what I see, where I see them going, how I'm trading them. Absolutely. Sorry, Ray, what was that in reference to? Is that to protect you? Jim said, GME, if platforms are not allowing trading, who is? Well, they're allowing you to exit positions, Jim. They're not allowing you to enter positions. If you own, like Robert owns a position on GameStop that he's had for a while, then you can go ahead and you can exit that position, but they're not allowing you to enter a new position. If they won't allow you to exit it, they would be hung by, forget what their customers would do to them. The SEC would put them in jail to say you're not allowed to close out your position. Yeah, so we'll say, you know, sometimes we give trials on some of our education. Maybe, you know, some of the new people are interested in those. Absolutely. And just, you know, check out some of the tools we have. TradingView has got free trials on it. So does Covered Call Explorer. So does Power Option Plays. So does E-minis. I mean, we do a lot of stuff that's got free trials to it. So those of you that are asking those questions, yep, just go check them out in the store and or send an email to support and ask them, you know, what would be best for me, and they'll be glad to help you. All right, so give me some symbols that you want me to take a look at. Drop them in the box. First come, first serve. Give me one each, please, per person. Brenda, I'm still waiting to see your trading records that you were going to send me on the Qs. So Larry said JD. All right, fib is still good, Larry, on JD. We're pinned between the fib and the moving average. I want to see a move above the 96.37 level. And it looks like 100. Well, we got to put 100 in there. But yeah, 100 and then 102 would be your next targets. But I wouldn't do anything with it until it gets above. Western Digital, WDC. Western Digital. All right. Let's come from here to here. There's a Fibonacci. So we pushed up. Oh, go figure. Didn't have a line drawn on it. I draw it now, and look where we are, right at the 618. Why? Rob, did they stop there because you put the lines there? No. They stopped there because the lines are there. People just don't know they're there. That's what it is. So Robert said, TD said I could exercise the long call to get the stock and then call them to write a short call against it. Okay, that's interesting, Robert. And you said that last week, right? So on WDC, we need to pull back to that 58.5 level first. If it breaks from here, you're looking at 57.5 as the next target. Citigroup, C. Let's see. You know, the banks have done pretty well for themselves. I think they saw an advantage to Biden over a Trump in administration also. So let's see what we are. 61, 68. So we would need a fib inside of here. So we would need to put in both the 118 and the 136. So we've got to split these levels in half. All right. So we've got a wonderful confluence, Larry. Wonderful confluence right at the 61.58. But we've already broken away from it. Give me a retest and a bounce, and 64.84 is your first target, and 68 is your next one. Very nice. So it's an upside down H happening in there. So nice looking setup so far. All right, Trader Will is asking for AMD. All right, let's see. Let's unscrunch. All right, fib is good. Nothing wrong with the fib. So Will, look where we're at. We were in a bearish bias, not even true bear, but we were bear. Right, we had lower highs, lower lows kicking in. We still have a lower high. We haven't violated the old high yet. So we're still there. The moving averages are in the wrong place. I would day trade it. But if you get above the 92, you're looking at 96.82 as your next upside target. I would just be cautious with it right now. Brenda's asking for QQQ. Doc Hughes. All right, so we're kind of in the middle. Let's see, 26 to 36.10. We don't need a fib in there. We're good. So it's a tough call right now, Brenda. You could try working off of previous highs, which is about 329.5. You know, you're still $3 away from it right now. So you could use that as a trigger point of a bounce. But I would like to see us either get back to the 326 or above the 336 level for a potential entry. Peloton. Trader will put that one in. Let's pull it out. First thing that jumps out at me, well, we had a double top, and then my highs got lower. My lows got lower. Not this one yet, but my lows got lower. So we're in a neutral bias. Day trade, you know, if you get a break above the 148 and you want to try to trade it up to the 156, I'm good because we've been there before. But caution because of those lower highs in there. All right, that's Peloton. Daniel's asking for the spiders. SPY. So we're up at the negative 618, and therein lies why, you know, you're not sitting at anything right now. It's gap up today, went near resistance level. $390.20. 390.20 is resistance. Excuse me. It's tough. I mean, right now I'm day trading it outside of my protection model that I use. All right. So I don't have a whole lot here for you on SPY, Daniel. It's just day trading at this point. Let's see. Sandy's asking for DISC. DISC. DISCA. Okay. Okay. So we can draw fibs off of this. I just don't know how valid they're going to be because of how horrible of a move. Well, actually, we're going to come off this V bottom here. And we came back in within that 2 to 3 day time period. We violated there now. So let's do this. Let's come down off of here. There we go. That works. Better. Okay. Good. Yeah. Very good. Okay. I like it a lot. Since it's only a $2 a day move, we've got, a decent enough a number, almost $2 there. So we're okay. So right now, good confluence with the 8 moving average at the negatives, at the 618, not negative, at the 618, but we've already moved up to a resistance. So give me a bounce off the 41. You got 42.89. If you look to take the trade from here, right, remember, we've already made a 1 standard deviation move. We bounced off the 618. We've already moved to the 50. It's 1 standard deviation. If you're in this trade already, you're looking at potentially a move to 44.5 from here with the upside down H. Hope that helps, Sandy. SRPT, John's asking for. Woo, goodness gracious. Biotech. Makes sense. Got it. I don't know if you guys saw, somebody came out with something for colon cancer and another type of cancer that they said there's a gene they can shut off. And this is expected to revolutionize what happens with cancer patients. Yeah, big, potentially very big. So we're in a bearish bias. If you get below the 8, you're looking at 82.29. If it gets lower than that, you're looking at, it definitely isn't 55. We need Fibbits in here. We need to split all of these levels. And those of you that are new saying why, stick around, ask the question next week. Explain a Fibbit to me, F-I-B-O-T, Fibbit. And I gladly will. We don't have the time for it today, but I gladly will. So now I like this a lot better, right? This was John. Confluence at the 94, John. Moving averages are true bear. I'm looking at 82.29. White on rice, baby. All over it if you can get the move down. All over it. Just keep in mind, it's still aggressive because the market is bullish. Keith is asking for a REC. This is on Reddit or something? Who are they? American Resources. Can somebody tell me who they are? What do they do? What's their sector? I got nothing for you on it. As a technical trader, I have nothing here to work off of. So it's hard for me to try to pick anything. So this is the best I can do. I'm going to come from this swing low to this swing high, and then back down to that swing low. I am looking at 869 as the next upside target. You would use this 680 as the catalyst. So we closed here yesterday, Friday. We opened up here, pushed up. If you can get the bounce off the 680, which you might have had today, then we're looking at 869 as the next resistance level. All right, a little bit of an advanced fib strategy, but and I'm sure that you guys are putting in messages for it. I see all these messages showing up. I just can't get to them quick enough. So let's see. Brenda said, I sent last time I traded them. All right, no worries, Brenda. When you get a chance, you just send me whatever you've got. Right, so when you talk about covered calls, are you referring to stocks you own, or are you doing calendars or diagonal? So I normally do the covered call or the naked put or the diagonal. It just depends price point. Under 40, over 40 is where my break even is. My break is for that. see, because I'm not going to get all the symbols in today. It's just not going to happen. Sorry. Got a few more minutes, so I'm just trying to get through some of the questions here. Steve said, what to play with the market so overbought? Exactly, Steve. How you doing, my friend? How did you make out, Steve? You did some GameStop stuff, didn't you? How did you make out? American Resources is a supply of raw materials to the global infrastructure companies focused on extraction, processing, metallurgical, oy vey. Energy, thank you. That was, that helped, Will, thanks. Just the energy company, got it. Okay, specialty metals, not optionable. There you go. That takes it the other side. Earnings Whispers does not show anything on this stock. I don't know, Amos. Let's see. Tesla. Yeah, we need it. We absolutely need a redraw. I'll do it in pop tomorrow night. I'll redraw it tomorrow. What do you mean? Over and under strategy? It's not a strategy per se, Brad. What I meant was I trade covered calls on stocks between 8 and 40. I trade diagonals on stocks between 40 and 200 normally. But guys, listen. I mean, are you okay if I share one with you that right now that kind of breaks that rule? One that I have an extreme interest at this point. Give me a 1 for yes or 2 for no. Whoever was asking about coming to me to learn how to manage your account, Wendy. Okay, when you retire, hopefully, get yourself involved in our mastermind group. Let's get you retired sooner rather than later. But yes, you will learn how. I won't be managing it for you. You'll learn how you'll be managing it. I don't manage retirement. I don't manage any accounts for anybody. I'm not a hedge fund guy that wants. No, I don't do any of that stuff. All right, here, watch. What's going on in the market right now? If we look at the S&P 500, and we'll leave it at this, $SPX. Okay. I remember this song from my dad when we were kids, and it played in the bar that he had on the jukebox, literally on a jukebox, right? Skyrockets in Flight, right? I think the name of the song was Afternoon Delight, right? But look at this, Skyrockets in Flight. We're just rocking, man. We're moving. It's rocking. It's just trucking along, right? So what's happening? People have extra cash. A lot of it. These people buying in these Reddit stocks. These people buying, what is it? Dogecoin or something like that. I think it was a German coin, this crypto, right? For 8 cents or something. My daughter's boyfriend bought it. He bought it at 3, sold it at 8. He's got, $50 in there or something. So what is he making? I mean, it's him just trying to get his feet wet and learn how to do this stuff, right? I applaud him for it. But there's some extra cash laying around. People are spending money. There's a new regime in town with Biden, and there are some things they want to do. There are some things that they have talked about, right? There are more governors, including New York, who I don't know why he doesn't just do it, right? And they're talking about legalizing marijuana. So here you've got Telray. Oh my goodness gracious. This is today. Holy mackerel. Up to $30. All right, it's up $4 today. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. By the way, I have the $9.50 call on Telray. Normally, I don't look at stocks this inexpensive for my diagonals. But if we go, and of course, all my positions, we only talk hypothetical, right? If we go look at Telray right here, and I don't think we need all strikes, but we probably could get away with 20 strikes on this one, I'm guessing, right? Let's go and look 160 days, 120 days out is the minimum we want to see. So June, right? June's been a good month for us so far. We look for a 65 to 85 delta, right? Little expensive right now on where it's at, right? To buy the $29 strike, which has a 66 delta. Seems off a little bit. Volatility is a little high. but you could buy this option, the $29 strike, for $9. We'll call it $9 just to make it a round number. All right. You can come into the front week and sell a $32 delta for $1.15. That is a phenomenal rate of return. There you go. Starland Vocal Band, Robert. That's it. I understand. And Steve, I'm already in it. I'm already in GameStop. GameStop, but I'm already in Telray. Okay. I told Amelia, told the team about it in a team meeting a few weeks ago. Said, you guys got to take a look at this. And Telray has gone skyrocket ever since, right? Just straight up. So bid-ask spreads, not bad at all when you look at them. They're not overvaluing them from a bid-ask spread. The theoretical value is $1.84, and you're getting a little bit more if you get the mid-price, $2.09. So $1.80 to $2.10, 30 cents overvalued. Not bad. If we come out here, $9.15 is the theoretical value. We could buy it for $9.05. Life is good. Even if you had to buy it at the full ask, $9.20. I mean, you're not overvalued on your positions here. But this is an example of where a stock, a position that doesn't fit those rules, Brad, of 8 to 40 and 40 to 200, it doesn't fit those rules, but the trade still works out. Yeah, I remember, Steve. Telray earnings unconfirmed 3-1. Yeah, Jim, I'm still good on earnings. 3-1 is my date right now of where I would be maximum of where I would enter into a position, a directional position. But I'm going to manage Telray more than likely. I'm going to hold it. If it keeps doing what it does, I'm going to hold it and manage it with buying a put. Because if their earnings come out the way I think they're going to come out, we could have an explosion even greater than what we've seen. Yeah, so pot X, maybe, there's other pot stocks that you could look at. We were building a list of them out the other day and looking through some of them. All I'm trying to show you here is an example of one position that doesn't meet the rules, but still can be traded that way. Now, it's gotten expensive. It's gotten expensive. I mean, here. I don't remember which one I've got. Maybe September. Is it January? No, I don't remember which one it is. For some reason, it was the 9 or 9.5. I don't remember what strike, but it's around that $9 or $10 level is my long leg right now, and we're at 29.17. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Was today helpful? Did you learn some stuff? Was it worth your time to be here today? Awesome. Awesome. Fun. There you go. I love fun. 65 to 85 delta, Brad. Cool. Very much worth my time. Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, folks, you're just one trade away. All right. I will see all of you at our next update. Take care now. Bye. Of course they do.